It's been a crazy 24 hours, in the world of football, especially, in the Manchester United fan base. I think it has gone crazy. We've seen some reactions, some words have been said, even not even just by fans, I think by the manager as well. He has, said some things that maybe people actually did think Amrim was gonna resign. Like he has said a whole lot of stuff, and the fans as well have voiced out their opinions about him as a manager for them, and it's just been crazy. A lot has gone on, and I wanted to do a match reaction for the match against Grimsby, because I felt like it was a pretty huge result for Grimsby, a bad result for Manchester United, and I felt like it was a big game in the sense that this was the opportunity for Manchester United to at least start something, to get the dice rolling and see if they could get some momentum from this, but match that was supposed to be easy, and that was not the case for Manchester United. I don't even really know where to start. I just have a few notes here, and I'm gonna try and go off of, and try and hit some point, and maybe get some a little bit of analysis for Manchester United fans, because I think there is a bit of delusion in the Manchester United fan base, and I think that's gonna get me to my first point. I think the Manchester United fans, I don't want to blame them for this. I'm not saying that they have contributed to the issue at hand at the moment in their football club, but I do think they have allowed their media, their media groups, stuff like the Talk Sports and all those kind of media groups. I think they've allowed those type of people to infiltrate their fan base and given them a little bit of toxicity, because really, the question you should be asking yourself as a Manchester United fan is, what next? What really is next? Is sacking the manager really the next thing to do? Is that really going to solve the issues? I have heard some people say maybe, this time around it actually is the manager's fault. I think they have accepted the fact that over the few years, maybe the manager wasn't at fault, but maybe this time around it is the manager's fault. And that's a good analysis. But personally, I think the divide in this fan base, the divide in the Manchester United fan base is so weird. I have seen tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet on X so different. Like, there isn't a unified tweet or a unified agenda that Manchester United fans want to take. Some fans are blaming the players. Some fans are blaming solely Onana. Some fans are blaming the new players coming in that they're not of good enough quality. Some fans are blaming the manager. Some fans are blaming the owners. Some fans are blaming other fans. It's such a disjointed, disorganized fan base. They can't even, agree on what the issue is with Manchester United. And I'm not here to, particularly tell you what the issue is. I can tell you what I think the issue is, but I can't tell you what exactly the issue is with Manchester United. I think, you're going to just have to figure it out on your own. But I think the divide in the fan base is it's so confusing, because a team of the stature of Manchester United, you would think all the fans have a common goal. We look at teams like Real Madrid, you look at teams like Barcelona, you look at teams in these, other leagues that are not in England. The fans have a unified goal. Every fan of a quote unquote big club, not even just a big club, I mean, even the small clubs, we've seen fans protest in small clubs and have a unified agenda for the team that they're supporting, in the sense that they want to, the team to achieve this. And when the team is not in that direction going to achieve this, they all unify and say, okay, this is the reason why, we're not achieving this, and we all want to achieve this. And, but I think with the United fan base, it's so different. Everyone has different goals and expectations for the team. Some People are saying United should be in the Champions League. Some people are saying United are not good enough to be in the Champions League. Some people are saying, they want the team to get relegated so that they can actually start all over again. Some people are saying, they were better off just winning cup games, Carabao Cup matches, FA Cup matches with Eric Ten Hag. Some people are saying, oh, we should be trying to get top 4. We should try to get back to Europe. We should try to win the league. It's so different. Everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has a different view. And yes, we're all human beings. Everyone should have a different view. We shouldn't all be thinking the same thing. But when it comes to supporting an entity, Manchester United in this situation being that entity, there should be a unified goal. We want Manchester United to do A. We want Manchester United to do B, C, D, E. It should be one unified goal and everyone gets behind that unified goal. I'm going to use Real Madrid, for example. Every Real Madrid fan wants Real Madrid to be the best team in the world. And the only way we're going to do that is win the Champions League. So every Real Madrid fan, no matter if you want to win the La Liga, you want to win against Barcelona, you want to win against Atletico Madrid, despite having these little diversities in opinion, everyone who is a Real Madrid fan has a unified opinion that this team should be winning the Champions League as much as we can. That's what every Real Madrid fan is unified on. And when we're in a position when we're not winning Champions Leagues, or we're going to Champions Leagues and we're getting humiliated by teams, we come together and we're like, okay, this and this has to change so that we can get back to winning Champions Leagues. But it's different with the United fan base. And again, I'm not here to provide solutions. I'm just here to point things out, and give a reaction to what I've seen over the past 24 hours in the ether of Manchester United. And I think that fan base need to get their stuff together. I think they need to be organized. If you want the manager out, you need to come together. Everyone agrees we want the manager out. And when the manager goes out, we get the new manager with the aim of doing this. Even with the new managers, they don't even know which new manager they want. I'm hearing Xavi, I'm hearing Gareth Southgate, I'm hearing Sam Allardyce, I'm hearing Antonio Conte, I'm hearing a host of different managers who could come to the club and do a whole lot of different things. Hence my point of there is no unified agenda that every Manchester United fan wants to hit. I think another problem I noticed, and I have been noticing in Manchester United, is the players. I think some United fans get the player issue in Manchester United wrong. I don't think Manchester United have bad mentality players. I think they just have bad players, full stop. Have a look at that Manchester United team. I mean, put out your best players. Which Manchester United player, or how many Manchester United players start in, Liverpool's title-winning team last season, Manchester City's title-winning team last season, Manchester City title-winning team last 2 seasons? Which Manchester United player starts in any of those teams? Even Arsenal. Okay, let's just take the top 4. Which Manchester United player starts in last season's top 4? That's a question you should be asking yourself. I don't think it's a matter of bad mentality players. I know Rashford, Garnacho, and Anthony have been classified as players that don't have the right mentality or attitude to be in Manchester United. But have a look at those players' quality, talent, ability to play football, and compare them to the players that in the top 4 last season. Do you think any of them start? Maybe you say Bruno Fernandes. Even with that, it's debatable. It's debatable if Bruno Fernandes starts for any of the top 4 teams, given his recent form at the moment. I'm really struggling to see any Manchester United player, maybe a De Ligt and Euro. And I'm trying to think, probably they make it to the bench. Maybe a De Ligt or Euro starts in the top 4 teams, last season. And once you look at that, you get to realize that these players, some of them have good mentalities. I mean, look at Diogo Dalot. He's going to run through a brick wall for Manchester United, but he doesn't have the ability to be good enough, to produce, to get you results in a Manchester United shirt. I don't think Diogo Dalot is a bad mentality player. I don't think Bruno Fernandes is a bad mentality player. I think these are players, that I think even with Andre Onana, I don't think Andre Onana is a bad mentality player. I think he's going to show up at training. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to have the right attitude. But they don't have the quality. Amad Diallo, he's not a bad mentality player, but I don't think he has the quality to play in a Manchester United shirt and get them the results that they need. Same with Diogo Dalot, same with Emmanuel Ugarte, same with Andre Onana, same with Harry Maguire, same with Bruno Fernandes to a certain extent. Bruno Fernandes is their best player. I don't think Bruno Fernandes enters any top 4 team and starts. Which midfielder do you think Bruno Fernandes benches in the top 4 team, top 4 teams in the league last season? Let me know in the comment section if you think a player is going to be on the bench for Bruno Fernandes in the top 4 teams in the league last season. So I think United just have an assembly of bad players, not just bad mentality. They've had some bad mentality players, and I think Ruben Amorim has done a good job, getting rid of those type of players. Now he has good mentality players with not good enough, ability on the ball to get results. And I think that also needs to be weeded out of the team. The players were bad. I watched that match against Grimsby. I was surprised. I was in awe at how bad Manchester United were playing. Grimsby were playing Manchester United off the park. And I didn't stutter when I said that. Grimsby played Manchester United off the park. A Division 4 team played a Premier League team off the park. One of the best Premier League teams, in relation to achievements. They played them off the park. I don't think it's a mentality thing. I don't think the players didn't want to, actually play well against Grimsby. I don't think they couldn't. I don't think they could do it. I really don't. I really, really don't think they could do it, because you might have the right mentality, but you may not be good enough. I think this is probably my last point. I got one more point, 2 more points. One more point after this. I think the board at Manchester United, I think if you're a Manchester United fan, you need to listen to this. I think your board is not helping you. I've seen a lot of conversation online with people don't even address the board anymore. I remember when there used to be protests and petitions and stuff being done to get the Glazers out of the football club. I think now that Ineos have come in, I've seen people support. I've seen people support this board. I don't think you need to be a big team to get owners out of the club. We've seen small teams do it. It's doable with small teams. We've seen fans of small teams do it. And it takes me back to my first point of the fans are not unified enough. The fans are not unified enough to make their voices heard. Fans are the life, blood, and soul of a football club. If there are no fans, there's no football club. There is no football club without the fans. The fans are more powerful than, they think. And I think most fans in other European leagues, they know this. Madrid fans, they know they're powerful. Barcelona fans, they know. Atletico Madrid fans, they know how powerful they are. They know that if they stop coming to games, if they stop interacting with the club, and they say they want this, they want this, they want that, they're gonna get it. That's how powerful fans are. And to see Manchester United fans, see their club in this state, being put in this state by these owners, one of the worst owners I've seen in football history. And to see Ineos come in and kind of back what the owners are doing and still supports them, and you see people on the timeline saying, Ineos are cooking. Ineos are cooking? Is this what they're cooking? Because I don't want to be a part of this if this is what they're cooking, and I'm not even a United fan. I don't want to be, I don't want to see this food get ready if this is what you're cooking, and I'm not even a United fan. So I think the board have done. I mean, we have less than a week till the transfer window is over, and they're now selling Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea for 40 million. A few days left in the transfer window, and they're now selling Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea for 40 million. If you're a Manchester United fan, do you really think you're gonna get players in the limited amount of time remaining in the transfer window? Do you really think you're going to get the players that you need? Because I can mention a host of players that you need in positions. You need a goalkeeper. You need a center defensive midfielder. You need a left back. I think you need a right back as well. You need 4 players just in the starting 11, not even on the bench. just in the starting 11, and you need quality. You don't just need quantity, you need quality. So you need 4 quality players to even hope of getting in the top 10 this season. 4 quality players with the amount of time left in the transfer window. And you're now selling Alejandro Garnacho. You still have players like Sancho, Anthony, Malacia, even Casemiro. They want to sell Casemiro, but they can't. Do you really, really think your board is going to get these signings done in the limited time? I don't think so. I'd be surprised if they did it. I don't think so. So your board is not helping you in the slightest. And to see Manchester United fans support what the board are doing, I'm starting to think maybe they've gotten acclimatized to what is going on in Manchester United. Maybe they've become numb to the pain and they're just accepting mediocrity. That's honestly what I'm starting to think, because I'm trying to think, if this was an Atletico Madrid, if this was a Benfica, if this was a Sporting, if this was a French team, how would they react to their team being in a position? Imagine PSG. Put yourself in this situation. Imagine PSG were in the position Manchester United were in. Do you think the fans were gonna take it lying down? The owners would be out of there. Even if they're not gonna be out of there, they're gonna make changes immediately. Immediately. If they have to sell the entire team and restart all over again, they're gonna do it. Because once the fans clock out of the team and decide not to support, not to interact, the team is dead. You might as well just disband everything, turn the place into a shopping center. So I think, board Manchester United not doing good. To see fans support them and say they're cooking and those type of stuff, really sad to see. I'm gonna wrap this up with Ruben Amorim. I left it for last because I don't think Ruben Amorim is the issue. I think he has flaws, just like every manager does. I think he has flaws. I don't think he is the issue. And the reason I say he has flaws is he's an inexperienced manager. Definitely. I mean, if you disagree with that, I think you might just be, being positive for no reason, being positive for positive sake. You can tell he is an inexperienced manager. I don't think it's his fault. Forget the system. I'm not even going to talk about the system, the formation, the 3-4-3 playing players. I mean, forget all of that. Forget all of that. I'm just talking about Ruben Amorim as a manager. If you're watching this video and you think Ruben Amorim's system and formation is the reason why Manchester United are playing the way they are, click off. Click off the video. This isn't for you. Ruben Amorim is an inexperienced manager in the sense that he hasn't been in a situation like this where he has to adapt, where he has to deal with these type of issues and not getting backed by the board, which again takes us back to my third point. He isn't getting backed by the board, and you can see he clearly doesn't know what to do in that regard, because he has done what he can do. Implement the system, ask the board to get players that he needs to play the system. So to not be getting these players, he's kind of in a situation where he doesn't know what to do with that. He doesn't know what to do with this situation where he has to kind of manage what he has, what has been given to him. And he's not being given that patience by the media, by the fans, by everyone to wait it out and get better. Because look at the situation with Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Rasmus Højlund is now included in this players that he doesn't want in the team. If he doesn't want you in the team, he's not going to play you. Other managers, maybe they play you, try and get, a few good games from you until they could sell you. But with Amorim, he doesn't want them in the team, and he's not playing them in the team. And it's kind of detrimental. It's kind of detrimental. Look at the situation with Bruno Fernandes. He probably looked at it in a point of, he's my best player. If I lose Bruno Fernandes, God knows how bad this team is, this team is going to be. Because he looks at the situation, and Bruno is definitely the best player in the Manchester United side. So he's probably thinking he can't handle, Bruno not being in the team because they're bad with Bruno. And we saw how bad they were without Bruno in the first half against Grimsby. So he probably, an experienced manager probably looks at the situation thinking, okay, I can handle Bruno not being in the team. I get the money. I replace Bruno with this, and this, and I build on from there. You can see a Pep Guardiola selling Bruno to get that, to get the funds in and get some players in to replace him and build a team. You can see a manager like maybe Antonio Conte, Thomas Tuchel, Ancelotti doing all these type of decisions, making all these type of decisions to better help the team. But with Ruben Amorim, you can see that inexperience to, make the decisions that he needs to make. Like playing Onana in the Grimsby game. An experienced manager doesn't do that. I don't think so. I don't think that an experienced manager does that. And even if an experienced manager does that, they make the change at halftime. I was expecting Onana to come off at halftime for Tom Heaton. He doesn't. He doesn't come off. So, yeah, I think with Ruben Amorim, the only issue I do have with him is his inexperience. But Arteta was inexperienced. Xavi at Barcelona was inexperienced. I know Xavi got sacked, but he was doing well before he got sacked. He built the team. The team Hansi Flick is benefiting from right now was built by Xavi. Cubarsí, Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, Lewandowski, Rafinha, almost everyone in that team, apart from Dani Olmo, was bought by Xavi. Were brought in by Xavi. And Hansi Flick is benefiting from that. So I think although the inexperience is a flaw for Amorim, I think if you can give him time, if you can learn, I know maybe some Manchester United fans are going to say, we're a big club. A manager shouldn't be coming to the club to learn on the job. Your board got him. Amorim didn't come into Manchester United and started coaching out of his own his own whim. The board brought him in. And they knew he was inexperienced when they brought him in. He hasn't coached any big club up till now. So you are in a situation where, you have to give this manager the time to learn from the mistakes he's made. He's made some mistakes, definitely. Europa League final against Spurs, he made mistakes. Yesterday against Grimsby Town, he made some mistakes. I think even playing Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, I've talked about this. He's made some mistakes, but he's definitely going to have to learn from those mistakes, improve on those mistakes, and then be a better manager. Just like Arteta did. Just like Xavi. Most inexperienced managers, they're going to make mistakes. But the thing is, they're going to have to learn from those mistakes. And most of the time they do. They mostly do learn from those mistakes. So, yeah, I think personally for me, these are my points and what I think is wrong with Manchester United. Is there a way back? I think there is a way back. There is a way back. But the right decisions have to be made, especially by the board. The right decisions have to be made by the board. The right decisions have to be made by the fan. What do you want? As a collective, what do you want as fans? What do you really want Manchester United to be as Manchester United fans? So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As usual, any feedback from you guys would be greatly appreciated.